Oh, good morning. It's Tom Padula, and I apologize for the delay for coming on live. The button has been placed somewhere else, not in its usual place. So it took me a while to find out. I have found out, and therefore I'm here live with you. I hope that a few people will come on and will enjoy today's proceedings with, going on to, I think, lesson presentation number 37 of Dante Alighieri's Inferno. And these are my comments for today, basically. We're going to discuss the 9 circles of hell and the punishments, and I'll do my best. Oh, welcome Assunta, mi dispiace che sono in ritardo perché hanno cambiato il bottone del live e non lo trovavo, quindi è un problema, è stato un problema stamattina, ma tutto è bello quando poi si continua. Ci è voluto un 3/4 d'ora per to get back on track here. But this morning is very interesting because I'm going to show you Dante's Inferno's comments. I'm going to go through each one of the canti, and just a brief summary of the canto, and then I'll show you the pictures, the illustrations that Gustave Doré has prepared for us. And this is lesson number 37. Presentation 37, and I'll be doing this for another 2 two Sundays, and then we'll start with Purgatorio. Okay, so I'm very happy that you have been able to come on today, and that gives me, it's lovely. I'll finish at about 1:20 because I start at 12:15. So 5 minutes introduction and 1 minute and 1 hour for the actual presentation. So, and this morning I also have poems from my Amica Poesia books. One is called Voluntary Service, Volontariato, and the other one is Non ho scelta, I have no choice. So I look forward to that. Those are poems from my school days, and of course there's always more and more as I find them. And then I will go to some music with Angelo, Dora and Colin, and also I'm not quite sure whether Reno comes on, but here we go. Okay, so it's a good morning, and I hope that all is well with you. This morning we're celebrating as well the coming of a new era with Anthony Albanese, our new Prime Minister. And I hope that as time goes on, a lot of the people in the media will say Albanese rather than Albanese. Albanese, easy to say. The actual pronunciation is syllabic in Italian, so it shouldn't be too hard for anyone who does media. So Anthony Albanese, congratulations, and congratulations to the Labour Party, and well, commiseration, not really, but congratulations to all, even the ones who have lost, the Liberals, because Scott Morrison has done a good job, but they had been in power for very long, the Liberal Party, and I think it was time for a change, honestly. I think once you do a couple of terms, your policies are in place. Don't worry, this is a democracy. So if things go badly, in 3-4 years' time, or in 6 years or 8 years' time, then there's a chance to renew again, to go for another era. We don't want people to stay in power for too long, because if they do, especially in those countries where people stay on for a lifetime, become dictators, it's not good for the country, really, because the country always needs different visions for itself as it grows and develops. So I hope that, once we elect them, they are like, they hold the seat of power. So whatever they say, we have to abide by the rules of the law, the laws of the land. And if they go out of check, then the justice system comes in and looks up. So, in a democracy, you've got the legislature, they make the rules, then you've got the executive, and they execute what the rules are, and then if there's something wrong, the justice system comes in. So it's quite simple, but it's complex at the same time. Now, it's 12:20, and probably was 1 minute, a bit after 12:15, but I will start, okay? I will start. Here we go, with the first canto of, I've got to change, because here, I've got to change, because I want to go back. All right, let's do canto 1. I did the pictures last week, so I won't show you the pictures of these ones here. Canto 1. The writer is Dante Alighieri. Having lost his way in a gloomy forest and being hindered by certain wild beasts, we said the 3 beasts, the hyena, the lion, and the she-wolf, okay, from ascending a mountain, the mountain to paradise, is met by Virgil, who promises to show him the punishment of hell and afterwards of purgatory, and then he shall then be conducted by Beatrice into paradise. Okay, so, and at that stage there, Dante follows Virgil. And so we go to, maybe I'll show you the gloomy forest. The gloomy forest, here it is. There it is, you remember? That's Dante there. Okay, and then I think there's another one here. There you are. And that's the other one, the other picture. And let me see. And this is where with Virgil. Okay, so they discuss things and it tells them where to go. Now this one here is Canto 2. All right. So after the invocation, which poets are used to prefix to their works, he shows that on a consideration of his own strength, he doubted whether it sufficed for the journey proposed to him, but that being comforted by Virgil, he at last took courage and followed him as his guide and master. So what happens there, basically, is that, Dante is not so sure whether he is up to the task, and he says to Virgil, Virgil says, no, don't worry, you've been chosen, so don't worry about it, you'll get there. Don't worry, it's fine, okay? So here we go, the next one. Sorry. All right, Canto 2. And his master, that's right. Okay, now, this is when they start the journey. All right, Virgil says, there we have to follow, it's dark, it's in the middle of the night, at the beginning of the night. And this is, of course, Virgil met by Beatrice, and Beatrice asks him to look after Dante. All right? So, and now, Canto 3. Dante, following Virgil, comes to the gate of hell. Oh, this is Caronte. This is Caronte that accompanies Dante and Virgil to the other side. So the journey actually starts in Canto 3. Okay? Dante, following Virgil, comes to the gate of hell, where after having read the dreadful words that are written thereon, they both enter. Here, qui va la città dolente, etc., etc. You remember that. Here, as he understands from Virgil, those who were punished who had passed their time for living, it could not be called, in a state of apathy and indifference, gli ignavi, both to good and to evil. Then pursuing their way, they arrive at the river Acheron, and there find the old ferryman Charon in English, Charon, it's Caronte, who takes the spirits over to the opposite shore, which as soon as Dante reaches, is seized with terror and falls into a trance. He actually loses Venetia. He loses his, well, he goes into a trance, not quite a trance, he just loses it, and that's it. He goes into sleep. So he can't, because he's so scared. So that's where, this is where they end up. Okay? And so then the journey proper begins. And this is where they meet those people who were born, very famous people who were born before the birth of Christ. And so the poet, being raised by a clap of thunder and following his guide onwards, descends into limbo. So this is limbo here, which is the first circle of hell, where he finds the souls of those who, although they have lived virtuously and have not to suffer for great sins, nevertheless, through lack of baptism, merit not the bliss of paradise. Hence is led on by Virgil to descend into the second circle of hell. Now, this is important because, when a child is born and not baptized, he cannot go to see God according to Dante, because you have to be blessed with the ideals of Christianity and the sacraments in order for you to get to paradise, to be able to. But then you've also got free will, and as a result of that, you choose what you do in life, and you get punished accordingly. Now, this one here, these are some of the people they meet in Canto 4. All right, so here we go. Now, this is site. Frank Mazzacca, welcome. I'm sorry I'm late today, but because I had problems with finding the live button for Facebook. So 11:25 to 12:25 has become 12:15 to 1:20. Never mind. So we're going through hell at the moment, and these are some of the pictures from hell. There you are. That's when they appear in front of this devil here, and he's got this big tail. He picks each one of them and then sends them to their appropriate punishment, whether it's circle 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, or 9. All right, so that's basically it. And let me see. Sorry, because I'm holding this. Yes. And these are all the souls that are waiting to be punished. You get a good view of them. So, Canto 5 is coming into the second circle of hell. Dante, at the entrance, beholds Minos, the infernal judge, by whom he is admonished to beware how he enters those regions. Here, he witnesses the punishment of carnal sinners who are tossed about Sicily. They moved Sicily in the dark air by the most furious wind. Among these, he meets with Francesca of Rimini, through pity, at whose sad tale he falls fainting to the ground. So in other words, these are the ones who suffer from lust, la passione, le passioni carnali. That's what they are. And therefore they get punished accordingly if they haven't had chance to ask for forgiveness to God for their sins. So in other words, when Paolo and Francesca were caught, they were murdered. And as a result of that, they could not, obviously, ask for forgiveness. And therefore, they ended up in the second circle of hell. And the punishment for Paolo and Francesca is that they are flying there. These people here are flying, but they don't look at each other. They are back to back to each other. So they're close, but their punishment is back to back. So there is a sort of a justice there, isn't there? If you think about it, is that you get punished in this way. It's la legge del contrappasso. What punishment would you give to somebody who commits such a sin, according to Dante? And that's what he gives them. Forever, in a whirlwind forever, for eternity. And that's this is here, that's where they are. See? He actually talks to them as well. And they explain, Dante's going through hell in order to find out how the sinners are punished by God through the devils, the various circles of hell. There's a whole world out there. And so there they are. Okay? So basically, that's Paolo and Francesca. And this is more pictures from Gustave Doré. And you've also got here, this is the moment when her husband caught them, the two lovers. And of course, killed them. That's it. More of the same. It's obviously a beautiful canto, Canto 2. It's one of the great ones of the whole thing. Now, Canto 6. Here we are. There's more pictures here. Let's have a look. On his recovery, the poet finds himself in the third circle where the gluttonous are punished. Gluttonous. People who eat too much or want too much. Their torment is to lie in the mire under continual and heavy storm of hail, snow, and discoloured water. Cerberus, meanwhile, barking over them with his threefold throat and rending them piecemeal. One of these, who on earth was named Ciacco, foretells the divisions with which Florence is about to be distracted. Dante proposes a question to his guide, who solves it, and they proceed towards the fourth circle. So here, Ciacco, we meet Ciacco. Again, I don't remember them all now, and this morning I'm not in the best of moods after what happened. So forgive me but we can come back to these, and you can come back to these with your own studies of Dante's Inferno. And by the way, I have copies of them as well. Okay, so here we are. This is the way they see that's how they get punished. They get eaten up. Li strazia. Like, it's people who want food, don't respect it by being too gluttonous. Okay? And what's this one here? Oh, well, this is another one. I just wanted to show you the pictures. Okay? Now, the next one is Canto 7. Now, what happens here? What can I do here? There, we got that. Well, never mind. I can't, I'll just have to, oh no, I'll do this. That's it. Because I'm reading, I've got to do the pictures. I'm not quite organised for it, but never mind. I'll still keep going. Argument. In the present canto, Dante, that's Canto 7. In the present canto, Dante describes his descent into the fourth circle, at the beginning of which he sees Plutus stationed. Here, one like doom awaits the prodigal and the avaricious, which is to meet in direful conflict, rolling great weights against each other with mutual upbraidings. If you remember, they go up and down. These are the people who spend too much, they give away their fortunes, who are very greedy as well. So they, according to Dante, it's the same. The profligates, they are the same. It's the same type of sin. One is too tight, and the other one is shows too much largesse, not respecting what is God. Okay, so, and they roll the stones, if you remember, in the canto. Okay, from hence Virgil takes occasion to show vain the goods that are committed into the charge of fortune. Oh, you know, I mean, this is old English here, but I have it in front of me, so it's a quick way of looking at it, and I hope you do understand as I read. And this moves our authors to inquire what being that fortune is. What is fortune? Of whom he speaks. With questions being resolved, they go down into the fifth circle, where they find the wrathful and gloomy tormented in the Stygian lake, having made a compass round great part of this lake. They come at last to the base of a lofty tower. Wow, that's the city of Dite. So in this particular Canto 7, so you've got here the prodigal and the avaricious. So how do they get punished? Let's have a look. They have these stones here. These are the stones. They have to push them up and then down, up and down, continually. One lot goes one way and the other lot goes the other way. So have a look. Let me see. There they are. Can you imagine you did that forever? Because you were too greedy or too prodigal, you know, with your care of material things, and I suppose spiritual things as well. You can have that sort of sin. And this is now, and you can see in the distance there's the city of Dite there, I think. A signal having been made from the tower, Phlegyas, the ferryman of the lake, speedily crosses it and conveys Virgil and Dante to the other side. Phlegyas. I have to go back to my Canto 8 in order for further more detailed explanations, because I don't remember them like that. I'm just learning as I go along with you. So if you actually take it on and you read it as well, it'll be a good thing, because next Sunday I'm meeting people who want to come there to Federazione Lugana from 3:30 p.m. to 5 p.m. and we'll discuss cultures and languages. That's what, that afternoon. But the main thing is to meet people and maybe to go over some of the podcasts we've gone through, how to get it technically, etc. So it's a good thing. And you can meet other people who are interested in Italian culture and language. And it's very important that it's done that way. Okay, Canto 8, a signal having been made from the tower, Phlegyas, the ferryman of the lake, speedily so he brings them across, okay, to the other side. And they arrive at the city of Dite. So on their passage they meet with Filippo Argenti, whose fury and torment are described. They then arrive at the city of the entrance whereto is denied, and the portals closed against them by many demons. That's a very interesting canto. Filippo Argenti, too, he was one of these people who suffered this. He was angry. He was angry. So there you are. So we'll meet Filippo Argenti there at La Città di Dite, and Virgil goes to the demons and says, "Can we come in?" And he says, "No." They say, "No, you can't go in." And that was the first rebuke to Virgil in his passage with Dante through hell. But then he gets, of course, saved and he goes to the next lot. So the next lot, here we are. Someone takes them across. There you are. Beautiful, beautiful illustrations, well and truly. And this is, again, they get to the other side and they meet all these other people, these other souls. Look at that. So after, this is Canto 9, after some hindrances and having seen the hellish furies and other monsters, the poet, by the help of an angel, enters the city of Dis, wherein he discovers that the heretics are punished in tombs burning with intense fire, and he, together with Virgil, passes onwards between the sepulchres and the walls of the city. So, if you remember, they walk through and they see the, this is the next canto, Canto 9. They see this. Of course, all this requires more attention. And let me see. And this is what we're talking about. This is where Dante, Virgilio, they also talk to a few of them. All right, so this time here, I'm not concentrating on the content. It's more just to show the pictures of the various canti of hell. And now I don't think I'll be able to finish this off today. I'll only go for, well, 12:15, 1:15, and this is 12:42, so almost half an hour. Very soon I have to leave this in order for me to go to my next lot. And here, you remember this? That's where the soul is, and they get pushed down. The heretics, these are all the religious people. That's how they get punished. And I think there's a pope in there as well, if I remember correctly. Okay, Dante, that's Canto 10 now. Dante, having obtained permission from his guide, holds discourse with Farinata degli Uberti and Cavalcanti, who lie in their fiery tombs that are yet open and not to be closed up till after the last judgment. Farinata predicts the poet's exile from Florence and shows him that the condemned have knowledge of future things, but are ignorant of what is at present passing, unless it be revealed by some newcomer from earth. So they can't access what's going on earth, but they can predict what's going to go into the future. That's an interesting way of looking at it. You can predict the future, you can't see the present. A lot of our dreams in politics are like that. Anyway, talking about politics, congratulations again to Anthony Albanese for becoming the first Prime Minister of Australia with some Italian blood in him. I think his mother was Irish. So we've got, that's good, the Irish and the Italians. Fantastic. And the Irish, they predate the Italians here because they were part of the British Empire. The British Empire was actually run, well, the work was done by the Irish. Because that's another story. It's beautiful. Anyway, Canto 10. We've done that. Now, Canto 11. What happens here? Dante arrives at the verge of a rocky precipice which encloses the seventh circle, where he sees the sepulchre of Anastasius the heretic, behind the lid of which, pausing a little to make himself capable of by degrees of enduring the fetid smell that steamed upwards from the abyss, is instructed by Virgil concerning the manner of which the three following circles are disposed, and what description of sinners is punished in each. He then inquires the reason why the carnal, the gluttonous, the avaricious and the prodigal, the wrathful and gloomy, suffer not the punishments which within the city of this. He next asks how the crimes of usury is an offence against God, and at length the two poets got towards the place from where a passage leads down to the seventh circle. Now, this is interesting. What it means is that if we notice from Canto 1 to Canto 10, which is the seventh circle of hell, or Canto 11, you know, you've got these categories of sinners that are really, people with carnal passions, avaricious people. Then they are punished in a different way to the people who then follow in Canto 8 in the city of death. They are the bad ones, the really bad ones. There's always worse. But the actual sins, the list of sins that can be committed, are obviously applicable to us today. So a study of Dante will always remain there, because it's universal, and it's in the nature of humans to have good and evil within them. So we've got the free will, according to him, or according to a number of people, to choose. But some people say, oh, questo è il destino. This is destiny. Well, if it's destiny, it's not our fault. It only becomes a fault if you have free will. So that's how it is. Excuse me. Okay, now who's this? It's another one here. This argument, descending by a very rugged way into the seventh circle, where the violent are punished, Dante and his leader find it guarded by the Minotaur, whose fury being pacified by Virgil, they step downwards from crag to crag, till drawing near the bottom, they descry a river of blood, wherein are tormented such as have committed violence against their neighbour. So if you commit violence against your neighbour, you'll be there in that, in the blood place. Wherein torment such as, so they are a river of blood. At these, when they strive to emerge from the blood, a troop of centaurs running along the side of the river aim their arrows, and three of their band opposing our travels at the foot of the steep. Virgil prevails so far that one consents to carry them both across the stream. And on their passage, Dante is informed by him of the course of the river and of those that are punished therein. Okay, so he gets the idea. They meet these devils who are pushing all the souls into the river of blood, and three of them says, we can't go across here. But then Virgil convinces one of them, says, listen, I'm taking a guide here, and he's got, he's being protected by, women in paradise. So he can't stop us. It's the will of God. So he then gets the passage, and the leader says to one of the devils, you take them across. Okay? So what happens here? So there is Dante and Virgilio up there, and they have to cross to the other side. And this is the other side. There they are. Quite beautiful, these images. Okay, let's have a look. And these are the arrows that the devils throw at anyone who comes up from the river. And finally, what's this? Oh, here, what are they? You know, the ones who become, the souls that become like trees. Okay? Still in the seventh circle, Dante enters its second compartment, which contain both those who have done violence on their own persons and those who have violently consumed their goods. The first charge changed into rough and knotted trees whereon the harpies build their nests. The latter chased and torn by black female mastiffs, that's dogs, no? Among the former, Piero delle Vigne is one who tells him the cause of his having committed suicide, and moreover, in what manner the souls are transformed into those trunks. Of the latter crew, he recognizes Lano, a Sienese, and Giacomo from Padua, and lastly a Florentine who had hung himself from his own roof, speaks to him of the calamities of his countrymen. That was Canto 13. All right, and I think 13. I will stop it here. There's another picture here. These are the pictures of the souls, like trees. You've seen them in some of the modern day films that, you know, trees walk around. Okay. When I try to remember, these are the worst ones. There. And if you touch any of those branches, they spill blood. And in Canto 14. Now, I'll stop at Canto 13. No, we'll do this one here because it's the last one. And then we go into, I think, the eighth circle of hell. So let me just read that. These are the people here. They arrive at the beginning of the third of those compartments into which the seventh circle is divided. It is a plain of dry and hot sand where three kinds of violence are punished, namely against God, against nature, and against art. And those who have thus sinned are tormented by flakes of fire, which are eternally showering down upon them. Among the violent against God is found Capaneo, whose blasphemies they hear. Next, turning to the left along the forest of self-slayers, and having journeyed a little onwards, they meet with a streamlet of blood that issues from the forest and traverses the sandy plain. Here Virgil speaks to a poet of a huge ancient statue that stands within Mount Ida in Crete. From a fissure in which statue there is a dropping of tears, from which the said streamlet, together with the three other infernal rivers, are formed. So, again, you got to go back to Canto 14, and you've got all these. Canto 14. And this is the translation. And I'll start with Canto 15 next week. All right, so that's it for Dante this week. And I hope you enjoyed it. I'm not sure. It's not the best of presentations, but it's a good start. Ok. Grazie mille per questo. Ci vuole tempo, ci vuole in tutte le cose. A volte quando si è troppo occupati, cosa si può fare? Si sbaglia. And that's the problem. Quelli che fanno poco è meglio. Quando poco fai, meglio è, perché ti puoi concentrare sui dettagli. Ok, now, let me see. Finally, I've got my poetry now. Volontariato. Let me just have a drink. Ok, volontariato. From Amica Poesia, these are bilingual texts of mine. And we're at school now. In questa burocrazia c'è spazio per tutti. Si può fare questo o quello in ogni ora, in ogni stagione. C'è sempre qualcuno che non fa niente, mentre ce n'è un altro che è ambizioso di entrare nel circolo degli eletti. E per questo lo fanno fare a sue spese, nel suo tempo. La cosa è facile. Se vuoi andare sulla piramide, devi far vedere che il da fare non ti affatica, che la tua lealtà va al lavoro e non alla famiglia o alla ricreazione. Il tuo futuro è assicurato se non ti dispiace di fare il volontariato. Voluntary service. This was written in English, obviously. In this bureaucracy, there is space for everyone. You can do this or that in every hour, in every season. There is always someone who doesn't do anything, whilst there is someone else who is ambitious of entering the circle of the privileged ones. And for this, they make him work at his expense, in his time, or her time, it doesn't matter, his can't say his and her all the time. It's also very simple. But if you're a woman, use her. If you want to go on top of the pyramid, you have to show that doing things doesn't tire you out, that your loyalty belongs to your work and not to your family or to your recreation. Your future is assured if you don't mind voluntary service. In other words, the bosses can use you up. That's how it is. And this one here is called Non ho scelta. In questa classe, non tanto grande, così quieta quando sono solo, ho visto passare tante facce che adesso neanche ricordo più. C'erano i buoni insieme ai cattivi. Adesso dove sono? Sono cambiati. Certo, così è la vita. Ma io cosa faccio ancora qua? C'è tanta vita là fuori passato quel parco di erba tutta verde. Forse ho tanto da fare ancora in questa stanza. E questo è il mio lavoro. Starmene qui a sorvegliare, ad aiutare o ammonire, ad insegnare. Ma se sono pochi quelli che vogliono veramente imparare. Invece, là fuori potrei dirigere, comandare, farmi strada nella società, oppure fallire, provare, trovare il minimo di felicità. Qui mi sento come un acrobata che cammina sulla fune fra due grattacieli in città. Non oso guardare ai lati, ma cammino diritto e mi bilancio. That's what I'm doing now. Questa poesia, in un certo senso, l'ho scritta quando era nelle scuole, no? Poi è successo che io sono uscito dalla scuola del 2000, a principio del 2003, quindi sono 20 anni che sono fuori dalle scuole, però ho sempre insegnato tramite il mio coinvolgimento con la televisione, con la radio, con le pubblicazioni, con i cori che ho avuto pure, la musica, c'è tanto. Quindi ho fatto qualcos'altro dopo che pensavo che non avrei avuto la scelta. La scelta è poi venuta. Okay? And this is in English now. I have no choice in this class that's not so big, so quiet when I am alone. I have seen so many faces which now I don't even remember. There were the good together with the bad. Where are they now? Have they changed? Certainly, that's life. But what am I still doing here? There is so much living there outside past that park of very green grass. That was Princess Hill. Have I perhaps still so much to do in this room? Is this my work? I was, a room opposite the Carlton football ground and the park. To remain here to supervise, to help or admonish, to teach. But if those who want to really learn are so few, non tutti vogliono imparare l'italiano, gli dà fastidio. It's very difficult when to teach people don't want to learn. Outside there, instead, I could direct, command, make my way in society, or fail, try to find the minimum of happiness. I'm not the type who's going to force people to do what they should be doing, you know, sort of. Those are the ones who then get the big promotions, the one who force, they bully the others, and they say, oh, you know, you're doing the work. They create a lot of damage when they do that. They don't realise it at the time, but the damage comes later. Here, I feel like an acrobat who walks on a tightrope between two skyscrapers in the city. I dare not look on either side, but I walk straight ahead and keep my balance. Okay? So that's it. That's the way. Beautiful. And so that's enough for Tom Padula, Mica Poesia. Welcome to Angela. I have I've had a problem this morning. The live button is no longer in the same place where it was last week. I had to find it. It's there, but I thought, God, what has Facebook done? Do I have to contact them? Do I have to do this? Do I have to do that? So I tried to sort it out, and eventually I got there. And therefore I started at 12:15, and we will finish at 1:20. Okay? Now, so I've got 20 minutes left, basically, for my music. All right, and so basically, we've looked at today the sins in the various circles of hell and the punishments. And I've shown the pictures of Gustave Doré, not in a really good way, but anyway, for now, it was a start. Doesn't have to be a finish. Let me do this. Let me see. Okay. Yes. Oh gosh. Again. Let's do it again. Yes. Yes. Let me see what this time. Oh, successful. Well, this is now the music. Because I didn't meet Dora this week. I'll go back and do some of the beautiful music that Angelo and Colin played for us. Here we go, the first one. Here we go. There are two masters here. Three masters. They had never met before, these two. And Colin has gone back to Scotland. That's where he came from. La 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 la. Wasn't that magnificent, huh? I really, it's incredible, these two. I just got to check the next one. I can't, we'll do this one here, okay? This is a short one, but still good. Here we go. Amazing, huh? Isn't it? We'll go straight to the next one. Here we go. Oh, I just got an idea. Torna sorriente. We could actually sing this, Torna Sorriente, with the music in the background. Wow, you can do that at home. These instrumental pieces are really quite good for a bit of karaoke. Welcome to Angela Imela. What a beautiful finish with, with the violin. That's beautiful. That was fantastic stuff, really. Oh, well, this is good. This is very good, actually. Now, the next one, which one will I play? I'll play this one here. Okay. We'll just keep going. It's another short one, but a good one too. Il ballo del qua qua. Solo bacio la felicità, basta aver coraggio all'arrembaggio, qua qua qua. Questo è il ballo che ho toccato. Solo bacio. No rehearsals here, no rehearsals. They're playing jam session. Wow, that's great, isn't it? That's great. Now, I will, after that, let me see what else is there from them. Oh, yeah, there's this one here. Let's play this one. Okay, let's go. La 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 la. They're coming home. Good to see the masters at work, isn't it, really? I mean, incredible. The fact that they never met before, I introduced them. Everything is done on the spur of the moment. But look what happens when it's on the spur of the moment, huh? Things really do happen. Because you capture the moment. It's so important to capture the moment. And talking about the moment, last night I was at a dinner dance at Solarino Social Club, and there was a bongo thing with Stephen Ross Ferraro. Fantastic stuff. And that'll come on eventually as well. But before we leave, we're going to do one more before I start my conclusion. Here we go. This one. And Reno is there too, so here we go. Vai, vai, vai. I don't know which one it was. Para-pam, para. Olé! Wow. You see that? That's incredible. The way they play, I just can't get over it. Now, we'll come to almost the end now, so I don't know. I think I'll do just one more maybe, and then I'll conclude. Here, this one here, nice one. A nice one. Maybe the one with Reno here. Yes, no. Yeah. Maybe this one here, yes. This one. There's Reno. Well, it's Reno there. It's Reno Marchese, Angelo Marchese, that passed away, and Colin McLeod is in, I'm not sure, he travelled the world after this, and then he's gone back to Scotland, I think, lives there, and of course Dora, and we continue doing things together. It's wonderful. I want to thank them profusely for their work over the years. It's a wonderful thing. Now I actually sing with Reno, so we saved a bit the losses which we have to bear as we go through life. Well, yes, we know through life we have to learn to accept certain things that are beyond our control. Okay, well, thank you very much. I'm sorry about today, but things are changing, and I adjusted pretty quickly. Now, I hope that when I press the finish button, the rest will come on, and it'll become a podcast as usual. Okay, from Tom Padula here, from TomPadulaTV on YouTube, and of course, Insegna Booksellers. Okay, and I do have books, Purgatorio, Paradiso. I have Purgatorio book, and the Hell one as well, Inferno, and the Paradiso will come later as well, but I have them, the three of them, the big thick books with lots of notes. Okay, on that note, ciao.